Hello everyone, this is Tony. Welcome back to Trophy Food Experiences. Today I am doing a review of Hancook Restaurant, which is a Korean and grill restaurant on the third floor of the Namsan Tower. So one of the reasons I booked this restaurant is I wanted to go to the Namsan Tower, but I didn't want to wait in line for the elevator in the Namsan Tower. And this is one of two restaurants which allow you to get a free entrance into the elevator, and you kind of in a way skip the line, and so that's kind of useful. It's included in your cost. You actually save that when you book into these restaurants, and that's part of your cost of dinner. So it's very easy to do. You get to Namsan Tower. At the base of Namsan Tower there's about 5 floors, and you go to the 5th floor of that base, and you just show them your reservation, and then they give you a ticket, and you go up the Namsan Tower, and it's located on level 5 of the tower, and then you just walk down to the 3rd floor. Short video of the interior of the restaurant, and it's got a lot of potential. So when we got up there, again, annoying habit of where they we asked them to change table because our table was right next to a tower, and they said everything was booked up, but we were one of the first people to show up, so I don't know why they are not able to adjust tables, but that's fine. Again, service standard wasn't as high as we'd like, and there's a lot of potential, but it's really nice because you get quite a nice view at sunset. In particular, we went up to the 5th floor, and there's an observatory. Then you actually walk down 2 flights to the 3rd floor, but after dinner you can go back up to the 5th floor. So it's a really nice arrangement. It is pricier than you have to eat dinner, and the minimum set dinner here is 95,000 won, around $100 Canadian, but it's still to me worth it because you also get the admission. When you get up to the restaurant, again, huge potential because they have these beams that separate each table, so it's almost like a private space for each table, which is really nice, and each table has a window seat. This food is okay, but if we could get a little bit better, I see a lot of potential for this restaurant. If they could just improve their service standard and their food quality a little bit, I really think they would have a very good shot at getting a Michelin star. So this is the set menu. It's 95,000 won, which is around 100 Canadian dollars. There is a more expensive option that I think it's 120,000 won that includes abalone, but we thought this was sufficient. As you can see, we'll go through the meal. There's lots and lots of food. Again, maybe they're not that comfortable with English, but the initial person that was with us wasn't that friendly. She wasn't bad, but she had no expression on her face at all. Then the manager came over, is much better. So yeah, they need to maybe improve a little bit in terms of the service standard, particularly when you're dealing with tourists. I love that they have a pairing option with Korean alcohol instead of just wine that's Western. So I chose the cheaper one, which is 20,000 won, which gave me 3 glasses of Korean spirits. Having said that, they didn't get the timing of them right, so again, service was slow on it, so I actually had my appetizer and had to remind them they hadn't given me their pairing for that course. Okay, let's get to the meal. So the first course is a starter, and look at the presentation, beautiful, really traditional and very attractive. So that's what I mean by so much potential in this restaurant. So you start with the right hand corner, you start with the like the pumpkin, kind of the pumpkin soup. Then you go to the left hand side, which is the fresh ginseng salad, and then you go to a beef tartare on the top, and then the stuffed abalone with pine nut sauce. So I enjoyed all the little appetizers. I think my favorite was probably the stuffed abalone with the pine nut sauce. I could kind of tell with the pine nuts. Beef tartare was okay, and so everything was quite acceptable. This was the first alcohol pairing with the starter. It's the Goheng Yuja rice wine. It's 8% alcohol, not that heavy, but it had kind of a pear apricot taste to it. It was very light, so it was quite nice. So here are some close-ups of the abalone dish. and also the beef tartare. And again, really nice presentation. Taste was pretty decent. And again, if they could just get up the quality a bit more, that would be really good for this restaurant. And the nice thing when you go at sunset, which I really recommend you do, is that you do see the sun setting, and also you see different variations of color. And again, unfortunately, we had this big antenna in front of our table. Wish we could have moved tables. We observed they only have one seating, so either one seating for each table. So we had the 6 p.m. seating, there was another seating at 8 p.m. and you know, it's kind of funny that they wouldn't allow us to switch tables. Short video of the next course, and again, well laid out, nice presentation. So this is the wild vegetable pancake with flour. Kind of reminds me of in Chinese cuisine, we have this kind of pancake, oyster pancake that we do for late night eating, and so kind of reminds me of that. It wasn't that tasty, but you know, it was kind of neat to try. And then they had some accompaniments. They had some kimchi, some beans, which I thought were okay. But on the right side, there was this jalapeno kind of spiced up a little bit, which I really enjoyed. It was kind of almost like an okra or green pepper or jalapeno. So I thought that was quite nice actually in terms of the spice. Again, I would really recommend coming up here nearing sunset, and you get different views, and it's really nice actually. I really did enjoy the whole scenery again. Kind of annoying that they didn't allow us to change tables even though no one was sitting at the other tables, and that type of inflexibility is not great. So then the next course is their beef course, and you can see it's kind of presented table side. Beautiful piece. Like, the presentation is spectacular, and so really enjoy this. It's called the set menu with charcoal grilled Korean beef with pine scent. There's a choice here. You can either have the Korean beef strip loin, 150 grams, which we chose. You can have the US beef ribs for 220 grams, which is a little bit bigger, or you can add you can have a Korean beef tenderloin for 130 grams for another, I think, $10 or 10,000 won. But they actually have this cooker. They put it on this cooker and they cut it up for you. Again, look at the table side manner here. It's incredible, right? This is part of the show. It's all included. So they cut up all the beef for you in slices, and you know, they cook it a little bit more, reheat it. So really kind of a wonderful presentation and style. So this was the second alcohol that was supposed to go with the appetizer course, but they forgot it. So this was again called the Lee Guan Gyu. It was much more alcoholic, like I probably estimate 30 or 40%. So, but it went really well with the beef. I thought it had a nice kind of almost nutty aftertaste. I'm at Hancook in the Namsan Tower. I don't know if they know what they have here. They have the potential here to be Michelin star rated. Just need a little bit of work on the service and the you know, fine things in terms of just the mechanics. But look at the stuff they're giving us. Look at this. This is cooked right in front of you. Beautiful presentation, beautiful view. Just if the service standard could be a little bit higher, we'd be there with Michelin. Cheers. And then after the person table side cuts it up, reheats it or cooks it again, they replate it on a plate with some vegetables and mushrooms. So that's quite a bit of table side service and pageantry, and I really enjoyed that. This is the accompanying vegetables, and I saw people, there was also some lettuce wrap. So it's almost, you could do a lettuce wrap. I saw other tables put the beef in there with some vegetables, so some kimchi, some sauce, and use it like a lettuce wrap. I also had the beef by itself with some salt. The beef in itself was quite tender. It was okay. It wasn't wagyu, but it was acceptable, I thought. So here is a video of the whole setup. So it's got some beef, you got some vegetables, and you got your various sauces. And this was the second wine that was supposed to come with the appetizer, but it came late. It's called Lee Guan Gyu. it was like 30 or 40%. It was a pretty high content alcohol. Tasted a little bit like really quite high alcohol spirit. But I actually enjoyed it because the aftertaste was a bit nutty after you tasted it with the beef. And then this was the spirit that's supposed to go with the steak. It's called Gang Ho Grill. And again, the people were really nice, but maybe their English was limited, but there was absolutely no explanation. So, you know, again, that service standard, it could be a bit higher, would be really good for this restaurant. Next course, we could either have a choice of soybean paste jjigae or cold buckwheat noodles. So my wife and I each had one of them. And so this is the cold buckwheat noodles. Again, it's got a little bit of, I guess, accompaniments at the top. And it was a nice dish. It was well presented. And then I had the jjigae, so I guess it's almost like a porridge. It had some rice with some soup. And so it's a soybean paste jjigae with rice cooked on a cast iron pot. It's got accompaniments like kimchi, like these quail eggs. And I thought it was kind of a very nice ending to the meal. Something a little bit more substantial in your stomach. But as you can see, it's quite a bit of food. Very well presented. It includes your admission upstairs to the elevator, which would have cost you money anyways, and you get this tableside service with a lot of the meal plus an exceptional view. And the food keeps on coming. Now we've got a little noodle dish. Let's see if I'm going to close up on this a little bit later on. We've got a porridge dish, and we still got our beef. The food is magnificent, honestly, for 95,000 Korean dollars, which is about $100 US per person for this type of ambiance, for this type of food. This is amazing. Just again, if they could get the service standard up a bit higher, you've got a Michelin star restaurant here. Then you get to the dessert course, which is very nice also. Korean nougat ice cream, a seasonal dessert. And then it also includes coffee and tea, but it's presented in this wonderful box. So the design is really nice, and I'll close up on the nougat ice cream, which was delicious, but it's got a little bit of a Namsan Tower on the biscuit. So this is what I'm talking about with the ice cream. If you see on the actual biscuit, there's etched in it the Namsan Tower, which is kind of neat. Close up of the other two desserts, the seasonal dessert, and also it's kind of it seemed like almost a chewy kind of pudding, and so that was also quite neat. All in all, I'm still going to recommend this restaurant. The service standard was could be better. And again, it's funny because, you know, I think a lot of places are coming out of COVID, they want more tourists, but they have to be much more tourist friendly, particularly not just to people inside their country, but people that are traveling from other places in the world. So the food quality was decent, but again, if we could just improve a little bit, I think with the service and the food, I can see this easily being a one-star Michelin restaurant. I can't see much difference between this and Jules Verne in the Eiffel Tower. If that can get one-star Michelin, I think this restaurant has a lot of potential because of the way it is spaced. Every table has a tableside seat. Every table is kind of separated with these two beams. Lots of nice design in terms of how they do things. The menu is set up well. They have a lot of tableside extras. And then that extra that you've got this wonderful view where you have that extra ability to go up the elevators without lining up. I think it's got a really winning formula here if they could just improve the service and the food slightly, but the service more so by a little bit more than slightly. So I'm still going to recommend it despite you know, some deficiencies in service. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Until next time, happy eating.